In this video, we are moving forward with the lesson number 3, where we are going to learn the command docker run and what does the docker runs do. By looking at this command, we will think that it will run the container or build the container. But not only this will going to perform some task behind the scene. So we can see in this diagram when we give the docker run command, here the image name. So what it will do, check for the local images that are available, those images which we are pulled from the docker hub. And if that particular image is there, what it will do, it will create the container and start the container. If the image is not found, then what it will do, this will download the image from the docker registry or the docker hub. Then it will create the container and it will start the container. So if the image is not found, it is doing one extra task, that is the task of the docker pull. Last time we have pulled some images. We'll see that docker images. So last time we have pulled 3 images, MySQL and nginx, MySQL, 2 images of MySQL with different versions. Now we will try to run one image. We will run this one. So the command will be docker run nginx. What will happen, we'll see. When we run the image, it will create the container and it will start container, but it is inside this terminal. If we close this terminal or we press Ctrl C, the container will stop. To view the running container inside the docker, you can see it by this command docker ps. It will list out all the containers. So we can see here 1 minute ago. But if we close this one or we'll Control C, then the container will stop. We can see now there is no container. There is another command. First of all, we will see the docker run to build and run the container. There is a command to run the container in the background without opening the terminal. The command is -run -d, and here we are going to give the image name. We'll see it in terminal. Docker, first we'll see the images. Docker run -d, then this image name. See, it is not occupying the terminal. And here we can see the list of the Docker container. And the meaning of this D is actually detach. We are running the container with detach mode. We saw that command docker ps to view all the container. We will discuss more about this docker ps in the next lesson. In the table of container list, we can see the unique container ID created, status, and its itself it's running in the port number 80, and the name is gifted Boldhard something. So this name is actually it's random because we are not providing any name for this container. So to provide a name for a container while running it, there is a command docker run -d, here name, and we will give a name docker test container and the image name nginx. Now we'll see there are two containers because we have already discussed one image can have multiple containers. So the first one was gifted Voltard something, it was random, but we gave a name docker test container. Now it is showing with that particular container. In the list of the container, one more thing we can see, it is running in the 80 portal. If we want to access it, just we'll see localhost 80. See, this site is cannot be reached because this container is running inside the Docker, not in our local machine. So to expose this container to our local machine, there is another command, docker run -d run docker -d -p, pointing to the port number in which port we want to expose to our local machine. Assume that 8080 we want to see this particular container, and here the port number of this container inside the Docker. Now this see the container is running. We'll see how it is showing in the list. Here we can see this 8080 is pointing to the pointing to this container. Now we'll open in localhost 8080. See, welcome to nginx. Now the container running inside the Docker, we can access it through our local machine. If you are thinking that why every container is running in the 8080, sorry 880 port, actually each container that is different. In our local machine, what is happening, if I open the VS Code and run two Spring Boot application with the same command, that will be 8080 cannot be run. But in Docker, this everything is unique. This is a unique, this is different container, this is different container, so they can run in any port. So this first one always be the local host, the host port, but where we which one we want to export, and this one is the container port. If I give you a production level example, there we have to mention this. This is the best practice I am saying. Detach mode and the port number to expose in your local machine, and the name of the user, and giving a tag for your application for the better management.